Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. We are in the last 24 hours of Nemesis Retaliation. They've already raised $10 million. They already have thousands and thousands of backers. So what do you need two buffoons like us talking to you about this game for? Well, a variety of reasons. One, if you haven't backed it already, you should go check it out. Link will always be in the top of the video description to swing over there and be part of this epic campaign. Two, for those of you that are going to be playing the game down the road, we wanted to give you some of our initial thoughts and strategies for how we approach this. And for those of you that are curious about what Nemesis Retaliation is compared to the other Nemesis games out there in the ether, this one is a game that's all about brutality. And this guide will give you some sense of what it's like to actually play the game.
Yeah.
And what type of decisions you're making along the way, as opposed to some of the other earlier versions. So hopefully you can listen to this and decide if this is going to be the right game for you or not. I've played through a few times. Mm-hmm. I did a gameplay video, and then I was like, hey, Mike, we can totally put this game away. It's a prototype. We're probably not going to play it very much more. And you...
I pulled it back out, and I've been playing it obsessively. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been going to town on this game.
You backed this because we had a prototype in hand.
Yeah.
You have read through the rulebook multiple times. You have played the game now outside of any content needing to be produced.
Yeah.
Multiple times now.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear what some of your strategy guides are. I've got 3. I see a whole list over there.
Dude, I even went on
to... Do you want to...
I don't know how much I should give away, though.
Give them a 60-second on what Nemesis Retaliation is.
Okay.
And then we're going to spoil everything. If they're here, they're here to learn the...
Well, I feel like knowing this will also help you decide, like, oh, is this a game I want to... Like, this game doesn't sound like fun to me.
Yeah. And a year and a half from now, it'll be a different
Maybe they'll
game.
come back
You'll
and
be
they'll
playing
be like,
a different alien. It'll be,
maybe a little bit different, but, like, hopefully some of my strategies still hold up. So, okay, Alien Retaliation is a 4-player...
Nemesis. You said Alien Retaliation.
I know it's aliens.
I know it's aliens. I was telling you that.
Nemesis Retaliation is a 4-player co-op, semi-co-op is what you guys call them?
Yeah, technically. Although
But based on what you've told me, it's more co-op.
We have some strong opinions about semi-co-op.
Yeah. So, it's a semi-co-op game where you are Marines going into a space station to accomplish one of several goals or one of several personal goals, and along the way you'll be fighting and murderizing a whole bunch of intruders. Can I call those aliens?
Yeah.
Okay, they're aliens, and you're just like wiping the floor with them, hopefully, but there's like an overwhelming number of them that is constantly coming down on you, so you have got to figure out how to deal with them, deal with the fact that you don't know where anything is in the space station and you're exploring and it's being revealed as you go, and also simultaneously figure out how to escape in one of 3 ways before the whole thing blows up.
Compared to old school Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown, I thought it was, what did I call Aftermath? For some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got that name. Compared to original Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown, Retaliation is much more aggressive, much more squad-based, and much more strategic in certain key areas. I think your likelihood of feeling like you had control over the environment is higher than base Nemesis, and a little bit higher than Nemesis Lockdown. One of the problems I had with the original game was that it was very experiential. But you'll find that you just didn't have the bandwidth to do everything you needed to do. You couldn't go check whether or not you were infected. You couldn't take out your objective and escape. This one still has elements of that. But if you're working as a team, if you're working as a squad, if you're moving through it strategically and in a coordinated fashion, you probably have time to address most of the major concerns.
Yeah, I think this, I'd never played any other ones, but in this one I feel like if you make the right strategic decisions, you can definitely win.
Yeah. One of those strategic decisions might be letting someone die.
Yeah. you might have it all. There's still the possibility that something will come up and it'll ruin your plans.
And by the way, you're currently playing 4-player 4-handed.
Yeah.
There will be a solo player standalone.
Oh, is it?
100%.
Oh,
so there will be
I didn't know that.
There will be a version of this game catered for you. Our prototype, though, is catered for 3 to 4 players.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Strategy guide.
I'm excited.
What have we figured out while playing through this game?
Okay, I think we both wrote this down.
Okay.
Teamwork. I said teamwork makes the dream work. Like, in multiple different ways, I think teamwork is maybe it is your best chance of accomplishing the main mission goal if that's what you choose to do.
In original Nemesis, there was a veiled idea of teamwork. You were kind of waking up in the same cryopod. You were kind of working together. You also might have a sub-objective that means kill the person sitting next to you.
Yeah.
And as a player, that's fun. But in a game environment, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, and it's...
In Lockdown, you start in separate areas. So you're either a prisoner or you're landing on the Mars
so it's like Aliens 3, okay.
So you're really already kind of feeling disjointed.
Right.
I already don't feel like your friend. I already am okay screwing you over.
Oh.
I like Lockdown because I think it gives you more control over the ability to ruin the game for other players.
Wow.
In Lockdown, you're a squad moving through corridors here for a mission. I think this is one that...
You mean Retaliation?
Sorry. In Retaliation, you're a squad moving through corridors on a mission. I feel like this one, above all the others, requires a focused team effort.
Yeah, for the most part, I would agree with that. Like, this one still does have those side missions where you might have to kill somebody or something.
Trade them for gear.
But
trade them for gear.
You can trade it for gear. Well, so I do address that.
We'll get to that.
There is a reason that you might want to hold on to it. But yeah, like, as far as teamwork goes, one of the things that I've realized is keep your squad together. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I'll just send that guy over to that room real quick just to, accomplish this goal or use the robot or find that room. And man, it's like...
It always ruins.
Yeah. So the one thing I didn't write, I'll just knock this out right now because I forgot to write it down. Never move close to the end of the round. Because when you move close to the end of the round, you've given up all of your opportunities to fight back or do anything
you might spawn a horde.
Yeah, like never move by yourself at the end of a round. Like never separate your group if you can help it. Like sometimes you just can't. But keeping them together almost ensures that you're going to come out of it okay, because you have. Without spoiling too much, certain characters have cards that are better when used in a group. Like, you have so much more power by having that character and everybody in the room together. So
many mechanics in this game, from corridors to securing rooms and securing hallways to killing everything that's coming at you to taking down the queen, require you all to be working together.
Yeah.
Or else you'll survive for a while, but you'll find that the stragglers that are being affected the most by spawning and by having people come to their room that it can't really control the environment as well. Yeah. Those core players, the people that can activate robots and can dig holes and tunnels for you, aren't the people that can shoot the best. Yeah. And so you need the skill set of every member on your team to move through the game.
Well, you don't need it, because you
really want it.
Yeah, because some people can do certain things with one action that would take everybody else 2 actions.
Yeah.
And that character can be invaluable to have on your team. And if you let them, like you just said, if you let them run off on their own and they start getting whooped on or they get killed, now the game just got harder. Okay. And I love that. So,
on my first strategy tip, the first thing I want to make people aware of: balance your oxygen. Be aware of your. This is a really interesting part of the game for me because you start with 7 total oxygen, and every single turn, not every round, every turn you take, 2 actions, oxygen goes down. 2 actions, oxygen goes down.
Yeah.
So that means by the 3rd round of the game, you have either activated a power station, used an action to get more oxygen, or you're about to die.
Yeah.
So balancing the timing of this game is really central. You move as a squad. You move into column A. You find the generator. You turn the generator on. You'll all use one whole round to, put some oxygen into your lungs, and then you move to column B. And then you do the same thing. You move to column C. Like, it's this progression that you can work through the map with. But if you just try to gun it, you need to go to column 3 for your mission. You need to go steal some eggs, or you got to be at the nest. If you go the whole way out there, you're not going to make it home without dying.
Yeah, you're going to...
Unless you're carrying a lot of oxygen. You might be carrying enough, but...
I have a tactic for that, too.
Okay.
But I'll back
Jump
that,
on
and I'll
this,
say,
yeah.
My thing was really think through your tactical belt in the beginning. So in the beginning, you get to pick 4 items to carry with you. They could be oxygen, grenades, or ammo.
Okay.
Every gun we've decided, I don't think this was in the rulebook either, but we decided that if you have a gun, it just comes with an ammo clip on it.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense that you wouldn't run in there with an empty
Yeah.
gun. So you'll have a clip on each of your guns that require bullets, but then you have 4 slots to fill, and it's I think of the way I've been doing it is I think of okay, well, I'll have 2 guys have some ammo, but then they'll have an extra oxygen that they could throw to another character if need be. But even that, it pays off to look through all your action cards and be like, okay, what can I do? What kind of a character is this? And how should I load them out before I go into this thing?
If you have someone, if you're playing semi-cooperative and you have someone who is screwing over or causing other players to be worried about them screwing them over at the very beginning of the game, you're almost guaranteed a defeat. Because you need the unit.
Oh, yeah.
You need to work together.
If you're going to play that angle, you can't let anybody know until close to the end.
Yeah, because you're not going to make it.
Yeah, you can't make it on your own. Yeah, 100%. That would be a big thing.
What's another point you have?
All right, so the next thing I was going to say is search. There is a search option that you can do, and man, it makes all the difference in the world. So if you have an extra turn and you have that option to search, I always keep my search and secure until last, because if I can, I'll search, because there's cards that'll take all your contamination cards out. There's cards that will give you oxygen. There's cards that'll give you grenades and bullets, and you can find all of these things if you search in those rooms.
Now, there are some things that you're not going to find so far in our prototype experience, which are weapons, armor, and really cool extra buffs, like the things that allow you to ignore certain noise rolls or allow you to quickly equip ammo. Those are things that you get as starting equipment at the very beginning of the game, and they're really cool. But if you're deciding between taking A or B, don't assume you're going to find any of that starting equipment in the actual mission. Because you're not, really.
No, you're not.
There's no hidden weapons.
The only thing that could be considered a hidden weapon is if you manage to get a military robot.
Sure.
Because the military robot can burst fire.
Yeah.
But other than that...
What you go in with, you're going in with.
That's what you're going in with.
Okay.
So that's worth thinking through your tactical belt and those weapons. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your next one?
My next room. Clear rooms, close doors. This is a really important part of the game, and one that we've messed up. Even in our gameplay video, we weren't quite getting it right. The way the game builds out makes it so that you have a limited number of hallways leading back to your lander. Mm-hmm. The way the event cards work means that if you have a clear path to your lander, you're going to be spawning hordes upon hordes upon hordes.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. You strategically, whether you're working as a team or not, whether you're splitting up as a group or not, you should all be very, very particular. Just like your father says, we're not heating the whole world. If the heat is on, close the door.
Yeah.
And the heat's on in this game.
Yeah, so I have a strategy for that, and then I have a point to add to it. So my strategy is to at least close the doors to the landing zone. Because if that is what provides an open path, then you've closed all paths to the landing zone. And there can only be 3 at any time. So you're good if you close those doors.
I like trying to have one hallway between sector A, B, and C.
Sure.
And the same principle applied there. Close the door between A and B, close the door between B and C. Because if you're in an area, that's where you're going to be dealing with a big problem. You don't want stuff piling up behind you if you have to get back.
But here's the other thing. Doors can also be a hindrance. Because if you find that you have to get somewhere and that character has already played their door card on the previous... Now you're stuck.
Find someone that can dig tunnels.
Well, the only thing that can dig is the
room or an action.
There's one guy that can blow up, make a corridor, and then the robot, the drilling room, can make a corridor. But corridors can be a hindrance too. Like, you don't always want all the corridors. Like, sometimes that's a bad thing to have. So that's a tactic that you need to think through. And then if it turns out that doors do stop aliens for one turn, then doors would be another strategy that you could employ.
We're not sure about that yet.
We're not sure about that one. If it turns out that no, it doesn't stop them at all, then again, like, closing a door doesn't really do anything for you.
Another big element of this game is clearing corridors, which causes you to flip so you don't roll noise anymore.
Yep, that's on my...
I want to do a game of this, which we haven't done yet. I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Going through and basically clearing every hallway we come to as we're progressing through the game. Like a tactical military squad. You move into a room, you spend a whole turn. Clear, clear, clear.
I can tell you why that won't work.
No, it won't work?
No, because I'm doing it right now.
Oh, no. There's a game set up there on the table.
I can tell you exactly why that won't work. Because it involves you staying in one place long enough for the round to end and aliens to drop in. Okay. And then you're using up all your ammo to secure that area, and by the time you get,
because you've got to burst down to kill them, and then
that's another tactic that we'll get into.
Yeah.
But like the ways that you want to kill the aliens, if you kill too many, it can put you at a disadvantage. So securing every hallway along the way, no, you got to pick and choose.
So secure a pathway back.
You got to pick and choose. Well, it's almost like secure. You want to, and that's what I like about it. You really want to think about, like, do I need to secure that?
Yeah.
Because if I don't need to secure that, if I'm not coming back through here, like, don't waste your time on it. Let's keep moving. But there's certain rooms that you know you're going to be in where it's almost beneficial to secure every path into that room.
Because you know you're going to hold down there.
Yeah. And so, like, the path into the landing zone.
The landing zone, or like the med bay, for instance, if you're going to stop by there to get rid of parasites.
Yeah, man, you might want to do that. You might want to secure at least some of them.
You mentioned burst.
Yeah.
It's another thing you haven't, because it's on my list.
So, well, on secure, secure, I think, is... at least with the rooms, that's one of the cards that I'll hold on to if I can, because I do like having, if it's the last thing that person can do and I don't need to do something else, I'll drop a secure token in a room. That's saved me so many times. Like, just that one secure token or two secure tokens in a room. Yeah. Like, because you never know, you really don't know when they're going to drop in on you. And so if they do... Now you have the option to
you get a round to react.
You have a round to think about how you want to handle it. Yeah. So that was the secure. At least secure the rooms if you can. Corridors is something you need to be a little bit more strategic with, but it's super helpful. So then what was the
burst?
Burst. Oh yeah. So I say prioritize burst when you can
over everything.
Yeah, but also be aware that burst is going to burn through your ammo. And if you're not searching military rooms, and even if you are, you might not find more ammo.
I think so I wrote down burst as well, and one of the things I have in mind is there is an argument on behalf of having someone who doesn't spend ammo to burst. And having
that's only a special weapon, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yes. And having that special weapon, if you get the chance to take it, and having that person lead the charge, but by far the most effective way to move through this game is by killing aliens in corridors and not dealing with them in your room. If they're in your room, you've got a problem that's going to take you a round or two and possibly some serious wounds to fix.
It'll at least take you two turns.
Yeah.
Unless you're lucky. Yeah, if you're lucky, or if you secure the
room.
Maybe
it's one or two. But
or you can set up traps, too. There's one character that can set traps.
I know, but it's bad news.
Yeah, but it wastes a grenade. Yeah. And I actually wasted a grenade on a larva once, and I was very upset by that.
So do not underestimate how valuable it can be to clear aliens out of your way and out of corridors before they're in the room with you.
And as a matter of fact, going back to the sticking together, there are two characters that have abilities where they can push every alien, including the queen, out of the room and into a corridor.
Yeah, keep those people next to your people that can fire a lot of ammo.
for each of them, it takes a clip, but it automatically makes it so that you have a much better chance of taking, especially the queen out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's prioritizes your burst attacks big time. Do you have any more?
I have one more. Yeah, what's another one you have?
Clear intruders before your event phase, if possible. So when they're in your room, before the event phase, if you have the opportunity to either clear them out, or sometimes you have a chance to run. Something to think about, though, is if you run from a room with aliens or through a corridor with aliens, they automatically get an opportunity attack on you. And the attacks are vicious sometimes. So that's a lot of times it's not worth it to take that risk. You can run into a room with aliens. And some characters, even if you do that, you get to shoot the minute you get into the room. So you get an opportunity attack, which is really cool. But if you leave that alien there at the end of the round, you're probably going to get attacked, and it's probably going to do some serious damage.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. So that was the thing. Like I try to clear them at least out of the rooms, maybe not the corridors, and I'll pick and choose what corridors to leave them in. But if I can get them out of the rooms first, I try to do that. That seems to help.
Group together, kill the queen.
Oh, yeah, man.
She's not easy to kill necessarily.
No, she's hard.
But she's not maybe as vicious as other games lay her out to be. And this might change, the balance of this might change when you get your game into your hands. But in our experience, if you've got a squad of 4 people that can lay their guns on her, maybe one that can push her out of the room, you can take her down in a round or two. Yeah. And maybe suffer some damage alongside of it. But it's worth it if you can kill her.
Both times the last 2 times I've fought her, I didn't take any damage from her. Because I had my squad together and I kept her in the hallway. And I just kept pushing her back.
If you want to split up as a squad, do it after you've had a chance to wipe the queen out.
2x2 is the safest way if you got to split up. If you have 4 players. Yeah. If you don't have 4 players,
what are you gonna do?
Man, leaving a guy behind, it's bit me in the rear several times now.
Only betray them when you've seen them betrayed you.
But yeah, that was on my list, was take out the queen as soon as possible, because once you take out the queen, there are several bag actions that go away. Yeah. And it makes the whole game a lot easier if you can take her out. Again, one of the other things that I already marked off, because I kind of said it was know when to run. If you have the chance to run, they move a lot slower than you do. So you can, most of the time, get away from the big hordes unless you get hung up on something. So you can just take off,
Any others on your list?
Yeah. Only one more, actually.
Okay.
2 more. One is use the robot to your advantage. The robot is actually a lot more valuable now that I'm playing with it and I'm using it. Some of the robots are super advantageous.
Because why? They can do actions that are away from you? Or what?
They can. So if you're in a room with a computer, you can access the robot and you can make it move. You can make it fix things. You can make it burst on, and it doesn't take an ammo hit when it bursts.
Sure.
So automatically you get a free burst action. It's a medical robot. It can come in, it can follow you guys around, and it can heal you if you do get attacked. The different robots are very valuable, and I've made the mistake of just being
ignoring them.
Yeah, and just leaving it in a room far away from me. They can move pretty fast. They can move 2 rooms at a time per action, so that's pretty beneficial. But I have a tendency to just leave it sitting there and not do anything with it. And there's been several times where I'm like, man, if I had the robot, I'd be fine. It also carries extra oxygen and ammo for you. So, it's pretty cool. And then the very last thing came down to, we kind of already addressed it, is your personal objectives. So the way I've been playing that is,
I argued earlier in this video, throw them away for gear.
Yes.
It's one of the options. And it aggressively declares your loyalty to the other people around the table.
Well, you don't have to announce that that's what you've done. You said that the first time we played.
And even if you do that, you don't have to necessarily do the one that you claimed you did.
Yeah, you can get rid of one and nobody knows if you got rid of your personal objective or the main objective.
Yeah.
But here's what I would say. A personal objective, if you're going to go for that, you need to wait until very close to the end.
If you want to win.
If that's how you want to play it.
If you don't want, if you're worried about you personally winning and not the team winning, then you want to hold on to it, because there might be a point where you escape yourself and win off of your substitute objective. But if you're worried about the team winning, then you might have to sacrifice yourself for that to happen.
Right, but sometimes what happens is like you've got that team goal and you're getting there, and it starts to become obvious that the team goal is not going to happen. So at that point, having your personal goal would be advantageous.
Sure.
But the other thing is, like, if you're holding... I was thinking about this when I was playing last time. I was like, if I hold on to that card, both of my cards, people are going to think that's my strategy. Is like, I'm holding on to it because I want you...
I've got a backup plan.
I'm not going to give it away early.
But if you die, I might go.
Because if I give my card up early to get those extra actions, you know that I just chose something, and it's probably very likely that I gave up my main objective.
You think so?
I think that would be... I don't know. I think it would depend on who you were playing with.
If you're playing if you're playing really semi-cooperative, I can see that.
You don't want to give it up too early, because then people would, or they might just think that. They might be like, damn,
here's the real final strategy for Retaliation. Don't play semi-co-op.
Unless you have to.
Play cooperatively.
Unless you absolutely have to, would be my
Until
argument.
your group is the best at this game, you know it inside and out, you can win almost every time. Don't turn on semi-co-op until then.
Good luck winning every time.
You hear what I'm saying, though? Until you really know it, and you got a group of people that really know it. If your first game of this is semi-co-op,
you're going to die.
I would say there is a 95% death rate. Death and destruction for all of you.
I agree. So,
cool. All right. Hopefully this gave you some insight. Hopefully if you're watching this in a year and a half, when you actually have the game in your hands, this gave you some good strategy tips for Nemesis Retaliation. And hopefully you and I, a little bit more gray and grizzled, will be sitting down to play this game, non-prototype.
And winning.
One day soon. Cool. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember, I have braces and they make it hard for me to talk. We'll see you later. Bye.